Who was she? The bold Gen Z teacher everyone loved, yet the one who destroyed everything. Today, we uncover her real story. Let's begin. They called her the Gen Z teacher, but her real name was Angela. Young, beautiful, bold, and completely unlike any teacher St. Catherine's Model College had ever seen. From the day she stepped through the school gate, the atmosphere changed. Angela's jeans were always fitted, her tops stylishly cropped, her nails were long and shiny, painted in colors that seemed to catch sunlight. Her eyelashes were thick, her perfume lingered in the hallways like a celebrity had passed by, and whenever she walked, her heels clicked louder than the principal's shoes. She didn't wear the typical brown skirts or dull sweaters. No, Angela dressed like her wardrobe followed Instagram trends. The students adored her, especially the girls. They whispered about her, giggled behind their hands, and followed her around like she was a star. She's different. She gets us, they said. Even the boys stared at her like she was a scene from a music video. Whenever she entered a classroom, phones quietly slid out of pockets to record her entrance. Angela taught literature, but her classes were never just about Shakespeare or Chimamanda. She brought speakers to class, played Afrobeat music, laughed with students, and sometimes sat on her desk, crossing her legs casually. Today, she would say, "We are not learning literature, we're learning life," and the students would cheer, but other teachers rolled their eyes. "Discipline is dying," one of them muttered. But the principal didn't complain. As long as students stayed excited and exam results remained high, Angela was untouchable. One afternoon, Angela paused after teaching a short poem. "Let's talk about relationships," she said. A boy in the front raised an eyebrow. "Relationships?" Angela smiled confidently. "Yes, I know many of you are dating or thinking about it." Laughter rippled through the class. She leaned forward. "Ladies, if a guy doesn't pay for your nails, don't text him back. Gentlemen, money first, emotions later. That's how the world works." The class burst into laughter and cheers. "Virginity is not a trophy," she continued. "Anyone asking you to keep it is stuck in the past. This is 2025, not 1960. Some clapped, some laughed awkwardly, but no one dared to question her. A parent started noticing changes. "My daughter doesn't wear long skirts anymore," she said. "My son said they had a vibe session in literature class, but the school only responded with smiles." "Miss Angela is modern, but effective. We are adjusting to new methods," they said. But the parents didn't know Angela's real reason for being in that town. She hadn't just come to teach, she had come to take revenge for what the town did to her and her mother. Angela wasn't always like this. She didn't grow up loud or bold. She was born in a quiet Christian home in that very town. Her father, Mr. Oliver, was a church deacon. Her mother, Ruth, led the choir. Their home was peaceful. They prayed every morning, ate dinner together every night. Angela was gentle, polite, and soft-spoken. People used to say, "Your daughter will grow to be a shining light," but light can be stolen. Angela was only 11 when her father fell ill. It started small, a cough, a fever. Her mother placed warm cloth on his forehead and prayed, "God will heal you." But by the third day, his breathing worsened, and fear spread through the town. What spread even faster was the rumor. She killed him. She used him for money. She's a witch. But the she they meant was not Angela. It was her mother. Her father's relatives wept loudly and pointed fingers. Ruth cried and begged them to stop. But the town believed the loudest voices. Within 1 week, Ruth was branded a murderer and called a witch. The town gathered and made a decision. Angela must be taken away before her mother corrupts her. Ruth fought back. She screamed, she begged, she held Angela tight, refusing to let go. But the elders pried Angela's hands from her mother's clothes. Her screams echoed through the village. "Mommy, Mommy, don't leave me." But no one listened. Light is easy to snatch. Angela was taken far away from her village, far from her mother's cries, far from everything she knew. They said it was for her safety, but deep down, everyone knew it was pure punishment. They sent her to the city, to her Aunt Mabel. Aunt Mabel's house was big, but it didn't feel like home. It didn't smell like home. It didn't act like home. Love did not live there. Angela knew that the moment she stepped inside, her aunt changed men like outfits. Morning, a strange man in the kitchen. Afternoon, another laughing on the couch. At night, different voices behind closed doors. Angela slept on a thin mattress in the corridor. No hugs, no bedtime stories, no prayers, just noise, just strangers, just survival. Her clothes faded, her shoes tore. School fees were paid only when her aunt felt like it. I feed you. I give you a roof. Don't expect motherly love too, Aunt Mabel would say coldly. That Angela cried often at night, but tears didn't change life. They only soaked pillows. By the time Angela turned 16, she had changed to slowly, without even noticing. Her aunt never sat her down to teach her anything, but the lesson was clear. Beauty is currency. Use what you have to get what you want. Angela watched and learned about makeup, outfits, the late-night phone calls, the secret envelopes of money. Bit by bit, the quiet little girl from the village faded. A louder, bolder, tougher Angela took her place. When she gained admission to university, Aunt Mabel gave her a warning. I will only pay your tuition, feeding, upkeep, everything else you'll figure it out. Angela nodded, but inside, she panicked. University is where many poor girls arrive, but not all survive. Collins was the first man to notice her. Tall, handsome, soft-spoken, wearing polished shoes and a soft smile that made girls look twice. He smelled sweet, like fresh fruit. One afternoon, he saw Angela sitting under a big tree, eating plain noodles with no egg. He sat next to her. Why are you eating like this? He asked softly. Angela forced a smile. I'm fine. He touched her hand gently. You don't have to pretend. You're too beautiful to live like this. No one had ever called her beautiful like that, at least not in a way that felt honest. Over time, he brought her small gifts: fruit, perfume, biscuits. He held her hand in the corridor and called her angel. He kissed her forehead and whispered, "You will never suffer again. You're my only one." Angela believed him. Her heart, tired and bruised, finally felt seen. But 1 month later, her period didn't come. She sat alone in her hostel, holding a pregnancy test, shaking. 2 lines, her heart sank out. She went to find Collins. He was with friends, laughing loudly. She pulled him aside. "Collins, I need to talk to you," she whispered nervously. He sighed, annoyed. "What is it now?" She swallowed hard. "I think I'm pregnant." For a moment, his smile died. Then he laughed, a loud, mocking laugh. "Pregnant? From what? We only did it 2 times. Don't be dramatic." Angela felt tears rising. "I'm serious." He raised his hands like he was dismissing a beggar. "Angela, please, I don't want stress. Take this and deal with it." He shoved crumpled money into her hand, not gently, not kindly, just to get rid of her. He never called her angel again. She used the money, went to a small clinic, lay down on a cold bed, no one to hold her hand. Pain shot through her like fire. Tears came non-stop, but life moved on. The next day, university continued. People rushed to class. No one knew her heart had broken. No one cared. Weeks passed. Then came Mr. Julius. He was everything Collins wasn't: neat, respected, and calm. Students feared him for his strict tone, but when he spoke to Angela, his voice softened. One day after class, he stopped her. "You have a bright mind," he said, "and you smile with your eyes. That is rare." Angela looked away shyly. Something inside her softened. He paid her rent quietly, gave her food money, asked if she had eaten, told her she was special. Not just beautiful special this time. Angela let herself believe. But life wasn't done teaching her hard lessons. Once again, her period didn't come. She walked to his office, heart trembling. "Sir," she whispered, "I think I'm pregnant." His pen froze. He looked up slowly. His face turned cold. "Angela," he said, "don't bring trouble to me." She stepped back. "But sir," he cut her off sharply, "do you think I will destroy my career for this? For you?" He opened his drawer, took out money, and pushed it into her hand. "Handle it, and never call me again." She felt the ground disappear under her feet. He blocked her everywhere. The second procedure was worse. This time, it nearly killed her. And it damaged her womb. "Pregnancy may never come again," the nurse said softly, holding her hand. Those words stayed in her ears, forever. Angela didn't cry this time. She just lay there in the hospital bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling empty, like her heart and body had both given up. Pain moved through her slowly, not from needles or bleeding but from truth. The truth that her womb might never carry life again. She went back to her hostel room, closed the door, and slid to the floor. No screams, no tears, just silence, because sometimes pain becomes too deep for crying. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Angela moved through university like a ghost. She went to lectures, took notes, smiled sometimes, but something inside her had shut down. She didn't trust love anymore. She didn't trust promises. She didn't trust people. But she still graduated. Life, somehow, kept moving. After school, she told herself, I will start again. I will find peace. Not long after, she met Samuel. Samuel was different from the men before. He didn't bring roses or perfume. He brought peace. He held doors open. He listened quietly. He didn't lie. He didn't flirt. He called her, my dear, in a calm voice. His presence felt like shade on a hot day. For the first time in years, Angela felt something soft growing inside her. Not love, not excitement, just gentle calm. They got married in a small church. No fancy decorations, no loud music, just a few chairs, simple prayers, and quiet promises. Samuel carried her small bag to their room and said, Angela, this is your home now. You will not suffer again. And Angela believed him. Then came the waiting. Every month, Angela touched her stomach softly, hoping, whispering please, just this once. But her belly stayed flat, month after month, year after year. Samuel held her hand and said, It's not your fault. We will keep trying. She nodded and smiled, but only on the outside. Inside, her heart shook like thin glass, because she remembered the nurse's words. Your womb is damaged. Pregnancy may never come again. She still hoped until the hope began to hurt more than the truth. One night, she sat alone on the bed, her hands on her flat stomach. She whispered to herself, what if it's not him? What if it's me? What if another man? What if someone else just once? A dangerous thought, a desperate thought, but pain makes people do foolish things. She made the mistake once, one moment of weakness, fear, and desperate hope, and nothing happened. Her belly stayed flat, her heart stayed empty. But secrets don't stay secrets forever. One evening, Samuel came home early. He found a message on her phone, a message she forgot to delete. His voice broke the silence. Angela. She rushed out of the room, her heart loud in her chest. Samuel held up her phone. His hands were shaking. His face was red with anger and hurt. What is this? He shouted. What have you done? Angela's legs felt weak. Samuel, please let me explain. But he roared. Explain what? Explain your betrayal. You are unfaithful and barren. He grabbed her clothes and threw them outside into the dust. Get out of my house, he shouted, before I lose my mind. Angela fell to her knees, crying. Samuel, please, I am sorry. Didn't mean leave, he screamed. Leave now. Neighbors stood outside, watching. Some whispered, some shook their heads. Angela slowly gathered her clothes from the dust. Her hands trembled. Tears fell silently. She placed everything into one small suitcase, the same one she had carried years ago when she left Aunt Mabel's house. She looked at Samuel one last time. He turned away. She walked out, her suitcase softly dragging behind her on the rough ground. She didn't know where she was going. She only knew one thing. Something inside her had finally broken for the last time. What followed wasn't healing. It wasn't love. It wasn't recovery. It was the beginning of the storm she would one day carry back to the same town that stole her childhood. She had lost her mother. She had lost her womb. She had lost her marriage. She had lost her peace. So she made a decision. I will teach, and I will return to my hometown. Let their children feel what their wickedness created. That was how she became Angela, the bold teacher, the stylish teacher, the one with loud clothes, loud voice, and loud presence. Not because she loved attention, but because silence had once destroyed her, and she refused to live quietly ever again. Angela didn't come back to her hometown with hope. She came back with purpose. Not to teach literature, but to teach a lesson. The school uniforms for girls used to be long, simple, almost boring, like gowns meant for silence. Sleeves long, collars high, colors dull. Angela looked at them and smiled quietly. This looks more like a prison uniform than a school uniform, she joked. She met the principal privately. Her tone was soft, but her words were sharp. Sir, if you want the girls to be confident, she said, they should feel good in what they wear. Let's make the uniforms modern, smart, neat, and stylish. The principal hesitated. What exactly are you suggesting? Angela smiled. Short pink skirts, neat white shirts, clean socks, not wild, just stylish. Just enough to help them feel seen. And the principal, curious, impressed, maybe even a little hypnotized by her confidence, agreed. Within 2 weeks, the new uniforms arrived. The girls walked into school wearing short pink skirts that brushed their thighs, crisp crisp white shirts that fit better than the old baggy ones, shiny shoes, and a little lip gloss. The town noticed. Some mothers whispered, "Why does it look like a party outfit?" But others said, "At least they look confident." Times have changed. Angela quickly became the students' favorite teacher. She didn't just teach poems. She taught boldness. She joked in class, told stories, showed them bits of life outside the town. She didn't shut girls down when they talked about their feelings. She didn't shame boys when they talked about attraction. She listened. She understood. One day, she told the girls, "Speaking your mind is not disrespect. Having a boyfriend is not a crime. Just don't lose yourself in trying to please anyone." She told the boys, "Feelings are good, but build your future first. Money first, emotions later." She wasn't just changing uniforms, she was changing minds. She even organized what she called class matchup, pairing boys and girls as study partners. But everyone knew it was more than just studying. You and you match. Two sit together. You both look cute, talk small. The class giggled. Notes began to pass under desks. Hands brushed quietly behind bookshelves. Love letters arrived in folded paper. Hearts. Angela allowed girls to sit behind her desk for private talks. She called it girl time. She told them softly, "Virginity is not a trophy. If you like someone, you like someone. It is your life. Own it." Slowly, silence died. Shy girls now walked boldly. Quiet girls now laughed loudly. Girls who used to hide now looked in the mirror with pride. It was like Angela had sprinkled magic in the school. But magic isn't always harmless. The first trouble began with Ada. Was gentle like morning dew, always reading, always quiet. But one morning, she collapsed in the bathroom. They rushed her to the clinic. The nurse called her mother aside and whispered, "She's 2 months pregnant." Ada cried and said, "It was Imika from SS3. Miss Angela said we looked good together." Her mother almost fainted. The second was Bissy. Bissy grew up in a pastor's home. She used to wear long skirts and keep her hair tied tightly. But after Angela arrived, her skirts got shorter. Her lip gloss got brighter. One day, she was caught behind the staff room kissing Tega. A few weeks later, her mother found blood on her bedsheet. She was rushed to the hospital. She had lost the pregnancy. Her father cried like a broken drum. Then came the biggest heartbreak. CHICA. Beautiful, brilliant daughter of the PTA chairman, Strata student. Everyone said she would be a lawyer one day. Angela once told her, "With your beauty and confidence, you can walk into any room and be seen." And Chica believed her. She started sneaking out during Angela's free periods. They thought she was studying with friends. One morning during assembly, she fainted. The test results came back. She was pregnant. The PTA chairman cried in the principal's office. His strong voice broke into pieces. And when they asked Chica what happened, she simply whispered, "Miss Angela always said, we are old enough to know what love is." Everything changed. Rumors spread like wind. Mothers cried. Fathers shouted. The town buzzed with warnings. "Miss Angela is corrupting our children. She is destroying our girls. This must end." The principal called an emergency staff meeting. 3 girls, 3 pregnancies. 3 broken homes. One name on every tongue. Miss Angela. Phone calls started. Meetings happened. Voices got louder. Then one Monday morning, a crowd of parents gathered at the school gate. By 8 a.m., the entrance was full. They shouted, "Bring her out. She must answer for this. This ends today." Some held placards, some held photos, some just held anger. The principal tried to calm them. "Please, let's settle this peacefully." A father stepped forward, Chica's father. "Peacefully," he shouted. "My daughter's future is gonna end. You say peacefully." Others joined in. "She matched my son and Ada like it was a game. She told my daughter virginity was useless. She changed their minds, their clothes, their future. Bring her out." Their voices shook the school walls. Students watched quietly from the windows. Teachers stood frozen. At last, the principal stepped away. He went inside, and after a few silent moments, he returned with Angela. She walked out calmly. Her clothes as bright as always, her face calm, no fear. The crowd hissed. But before anyone could speak, Angela raised her hand and said softly, "Please, let me talk." The principal stepped aside. Angela walked forward slowly. Her heels clicked on the pavement. She stood in front of the angry crowd, calm, steady, untouched by the shouting. Some people whispered, some stared, but Angela didn't look scared. She just looked tired. She gently raised her hand. Please, she said softly, let me speak. The shouting paused, just a little. She stood tall, her voice clear and steady. You all know me as the Gen Z teacher, the one who changed your daughters, the one who told them to speak boldly, the one who didn't shame them for having feelings. Yes, she paused. I did all of that. A low rumble passed through the crowd. But do you know why I did it? She asked. Silence slowly fell. Angela turned to face the elders. Her eyes searched their faces. Do any of you remember Ruth? She asked. The choir mistress whose husband died. The woman you called a witch. Some faces dropped. Some hands trembled. A few people looked away. My mother, Angela said, her voice tightening. The woman you dragged through the streets. The woman you shamed. The woman you blamed without proof, while I stood there, crying and begging you not to take her away from me. She didn't cry, but her eyes glistened. I was 11. I screamed. I held her close. You pulled me away. You tore me from her arms. Her voice softened. That day, something in me broke forever. No one spoke. My mother died with shame, and everyone forgot. Everyone moved on. Nobody said sorry. The courtyard was completely silent now. Even the wind seemed still. She took a breath. So yes, I came back, not just to teach, but to show your children what life did to me, to teach them what no one taught me. Her voice grew firmer. To speak, to feel, to choose. To understand that silence can destroy people. The principal's face was pale. Some mothers wiped tears. Some fathers looked down at their shoes. Angela looked around slowly. Was it revenge? She said quietly. Yes, gasps. I was raised with pain, she continued, and I returned it, not because I am cruel, but because this town taught me pain first, before anything else. Tears finally fell from her eyes, but her voice didn't shake. Chief Angela, the old village elder, stepped forward. His voice was soft, calm, old and wise. Angela, he said, you have spoken truth. What happened to you was wrong. The town failed you, and it failed your mother. We are sorry. The crowd was silent. But, he continued gently, two wrongs cannot make one right. You were hurt, but in return, you hurt others. You became the wound. Angela's head lowered. Another elder spoke. You gave them freedom, but without guidance. You gave wings, but forgot to give direction. The elders went inside for a short meeting. When they returned, Chief Angela spoke. We have decided. Angela must leave this town today. She will not return. Not as a teacher. Not even as a visitor. No anger. No shouting. Just a calm, heavy verdict. Angela didn't speak. She turned, walked to the staff room, picked her small bag, and walked out through the school gate. No goodbyes. No tears. No dramatic scene. Just footsteps. In silence. As she walked past the gates, the crowd parted. Some looked away. Some watched quietly. But nobody stopped her. She walked away slowly, until her figure faded into the dusty road, like a page closing softly. And just like that, the Gen Z teacher was gone. If you liked this story, don't forget to like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more powerful African stories that teach, touch, and stay with you.